starts off walking home from work, and so he goes inside his house, and he sits down. Notices his 2 cups on the wall, which I had to do is iron in gold ingots for his silver cup and his gold cup. And he remembered that he had won them earlier in his life, and he started to have a flashback. So he starts out in his house, and he really wants a dog. So he talks to his mom and dad about it, and they say it's too expensive. So he gets really upset. So he starts not feeling good, and he just doesn't eat much and doesn't do much of anything because he's sick. And then his parents see that he is not feeling good, and they remember that he asked them for the dog, and they say that one of their friends had just had a litter of puppies, but he said he wants 2 hound dogs, and they said that was too expensive. And that day the fishermen were leaving the lake that they normally fish at near his house. So he walked, and he always finds some good stuff over there. That day he walked over and saw an ad for 2 hound dogs, and he was for $50. He started saving his money, and when the time came to get his dogs, his grandpa said that they were in a nearby town. So he started walking over the Ozarks and going to get his dogs. Then he got his dogs, and he talked to the man who was working at the depot that day for a while, and then tamed his dogs. He named one Old Dan and one Little Ann, and then they followed him home. So when he gets home, he starts to train his dogs with his sisters. So he gets a coonskin and lets the dogs smell it. Okay. Then he starts teaching them all the trails a coon might take. And so once he's done with that, he starts going hunting. The rest of the nights he goes hunting, and then he goes home, and the dogs stay outside, and he goes to sleep. Then the days passed about the same, hunting at night, and then sleeping the rest of the night. And one day he went to his grandfather's shop to show him all the coonskins he had gotten. His grandpa said that he was going to sign him up for a contest for hunting. So the next day he started packing, and then the day after that he left for the hunting trip. When he gets there, they have a drawing, In the silver cup that I showed you earlier in the video, he won from the beauty contest that they had. And then the first night of hunting, he picked up 3 coon skins and showed him to the judge. On the second night, he got 4 coon skins and 1. So he got the golden cup and about $400. And then he went home. So a couple of days later, he goes hunting in some different the Ozarks, but a different part of them. And old Dan, they find a mountain lion in a tree. And old Dan goes and tries. Old Dan and Lillian save Billy, who is the main character's name, from the mountain lion. And but old Dan, who's this little guy right here, gets really hurt. Then the next day he dies, and they bury him in the mountains. And Little Ann was very devastated, so the next day she wouldn't eat anything. She wouldn't do anything. So she died the next day, and Billy was very devastated. So he went and just went home and went to sleep out of sadness. So a couple months later, all the money that he had gained from the tournament, the hunting tournament, they had bought a house in the village that he had gone to. And he wanted to say goodbye to his dogs one last time. So he went over and he saw a plant had grown in between them. And he got really mad because he was thinking, what plant would grow in between the graves of my dogs? Then he noticed that it was a red fern, which I can't do in this, so I'm just going to have to do a regular fern. Just go with it. And so he saw the red fern. He told his mom, because there was an Indian legend about a red fern. His mom started crying tears of joy. His sisters came and also started crying, and then everybody left happily to the village. The end.